before I fried his circuits, IG-88 said Boba Fett is here in the Jar system. Most likely, he's at the Imperial moon base on Gaul. Now that we're on the Empire's hit list, the only way in there without being blasted out of the sky is to hide the ship in Smuggler's Gorge. Then I'll have to sneak in the hard way. So far, so good, Lebo. It looks like I go in on foot from here.
Welcome back to our Shadows of the Empire lore play series. Today we're going to be facing Boba Fett, but first I want to point out that this level is yet another example of how you need to play the game, read the comic, and read the book to get the whole story. In the book, Dash leads Luke and company to the Jar system and the planet Gaul to find Fett, but he quickly abandons them, claiming that he was paid to be a guide, not participate in any fight. Everyone yells at him, but he's gone. In reality, he didn't leave. He landed here and he approached the Imperial base on foot. I'm not sure how that timeline works out, considering in the book, Lando and everyone just fly to the base and only see the Slave One leave. How did Dash beat them there?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Oh well, let's just talk about where we're at. Gaul was a moon located in the Jar system. It was mostly made up of forests and canyons, but today all we'll be seeing are canyons. We specifically landed in the Smuggler's Canyon, which is ironically the location of an Imperial base. I guess they set up shop to stop the smugglers from using the canyon. Probe droids and Imperials roam the narrow walkways, and also a species of bioengineered sand wampas. Who did that? Why? Were they just so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should? Someone get Jeff Goldblum on the line, please. Like I said before, while we're on the ground, the rebels are in the sky doing their own version of the same mission, so I'll run through what happened there. Rogue Squadron set up a staging ground on another nearby moon called Kyle, which is just the silliest possible human name for a place. Lando paid Dash to meet up there, and that's the first time Luke and Leia officially met him, but Luke does realize he had seen Dash during Hoth. Leia mentally comments to herself how similar in personality Dash is to Han, and that's kinda the point. Since the fan-favorite character spends the whole story frozen in carbonite, I guess Lucasfilm decided they needed a replacement, so they created Dash. Although I'd say Dash is even more cocky than Han, if that's possible. Thanks to the mission briefing in the book, we know that this Imperial enclave we're attacking is home to 2 Star Destroyers. The plan was for Rogue Squadron to engage the 72 TIE fighters each capital ship carried as a distraction, while the Outrider and the Falcon slip by and attack Boba Fett. Dash leads them straight to the Enclave and then leaves to do this, apparently, even though in the book Boba Fett's ship takes off almost immediately when they arrive. Meanwhile, Rogue Squadron discovers that there's a traitor in their midst when Wes Jansen's sabotaged astromech goes rogue, pun intended, and tries to kill Luke. Ultimately, as you can tell, the mission was a complete failure, and Boba Fett escapes. Maybe the differences in missions between the book and the game come down to who's telling the story. Maybe the game is Dash's retelling of events and he wants to tell people he didn't leave, and in fact he took on Boba Fett one-on-one. He even fought with the Slave One. By the way, this is nearly impossible to do with an Xbox controller. All the jetpack controls are on the keyboard, and I'm having to switch back and forth between keyboard and controller. Anyway, the mission to Gaul is the biggest attempt made by the Rebellion to save Han Solo. I've had people ask me before if Shadows of the Empire could ever fit into the new canon, and unfortunately, I don't think it can. The book Moving Target talks about what Leia is up to right before the events of Return of the Jedi, and it's not this. She also talks about how they haven't been able to get a mission to save Han together. So I wouldn't expect this game or book or comic to become canon anytime soon unless it is heavily adapted. This level ends with us shooting down the Slave One, which again doesn't really make sense because in the book it flies off without a problem. But with that, we're gonna bring this video to a close. If you want to start this series over from the beginning, check out this playlist here. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.